Hey everybody, I'm Darren. I suck at YouTube, but to paraphrase Sam Jackson from Pulp Fiction, but I'm trying. I'm trying real hard. I don't know that I'm trying that hard, but I'm trying. And so one of the things that I did poorly last week is I saved all the obligatory YouTube nonsense that people always say on camera until the end of the video. So I'm going to say it now. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. And the other thing is, if you have a comment, don't email it to me. Leave it in the video below. It's how social media works, the algorithm, interact with the channels that you want to support. I love that people are watching this, but I get a few random comments down below, but then I get much longer and more thought out comments from people via email. And I'm like, that's all well and good, but leave a comment on the video so that there's some kind of, YouTube evidence that's been left behind that you actually watched this. So I would definitely appreciate that. So we are, 17 weeks and 5 days out as of today. This is officially the 18-week out update. I went with a wider angle today because I didn't want to be that close to the camera. I really need to remember to shave. Oh God. Just because this is rough to look at here. I'm looking at myself right here. I'm like, I kind of wonder if I should just stop this video and go shave right now. I don't have that kind of time. I'm running late. I'm supposed to eat in 10 minutes. So we're going to bang this sucker out. 17 weeks and 5 days out from Battle at the River, Chattanooga, Tennessee, June 8th. Yes, 8th. So this is the 18-week out update. 18 weeks was this Saturday. Today is February 5th. Once again, the theme of the hostage video here. I think the hostage is still doing pretty good. He's not deteriorated too much. Big changes in news for the week. Not much. This was the first week on reduced macros. I made a little bit of an effort to get a little bit more cardio in. Really, I'm still just doing my morning 30 minutes on the bike, which is really quite casual. And am I recording this, by the way? Yes, okay. It's a casual 30 minutes on the bike every morning without fail. Then I'm getting a step count, and I'm somewhere you can see when I throw the tracker up here. I'm over 10K every day. Beyond that, not much. So I am going to start to make a deliberate effort to get that step count up a little bit higher. Might work in a little bit of random cardio, 10, 15 minutes post-workout here and there when it seems appropriate. I feel pretty good about how this week shook out, so I'm not really too worried about it just yet. Just yet. But as the theme of prep goes, we shall see. We shall see. People often ask me as a coach, like, hey, what do you think, my whole prep's going to look like? I'm like, you tell me, how much are you going to fuck it up? That's the biggest factor, realistically. How much are you going to fuck up on your prep? And then we can figure out what your prep's going to look like. Otherwise, it's completely unpredictable. Like if I could tell everybody, well, here's what I expect your prep to look like. Here's a formula, go follow that. If that was a thing, then prep coaches would not be a thing. But what we have to do is look at the data, interpret it, adapt, and make changes as needed. And those changes are not always the most obvious things in the world. So you will get to experience my thought process as I go through this for myself here. Maybe learn a little something for yourself too in the process too. So not really many big changes here. We'll get to kind of a breakdown for the week here. The quantitative stuff, let me throw the tracker up on screen. Hold on, there we go. Let me throw the tracker up on screen over here, blocking the wall of guitars. So you can see all the data for the week. Let me move that over here as I'm looking at it as well. So I added a couple of columns here just because I was kind of sick of running the math on some of these numbers. Like, okay, I'm supposed to lose this many pounds per week. My cap is this. So I plugged in some columns here. So you see the weight in that second column there. Well, there's date, how many weeks out we are, and then the weight. You can see it trended down. So we dropped 1.9 pounds this week, and I go for averages Sunday to Sunday on that. So 1.9 pounds per week. The next one is how many pounds that I need to lose in order to hit the cap. And then how many, if I divide that number by how many weeks there are left, how many pounds per week I need to lose. So right now we're at 1.9. A sluggish week is going to raise that number up. A really good aggressive week is going to bring that number down a little bit. 1.9, I don't really want to be too much higher than that. So I would like to keep that number in what I would consider to be the doable range. You can see also like cardio, I've got my 30 minutes every day on the bike. I did get a second 30 minutes in. What was that? That was I went to the gym specifically just to do calves and cardio on that day, actually. So I knocked out an easy 30 minutes on the treadmill, nothing crazy there. You can see the step count. It's up over around 11K or higher every day. I'm missing Friday the 2nd because my watch was charging that day and I kept forgetting to pull it off the charger. So legs were all good. Workout quality was pretty high across the board. I have noticed I'm becoming a little bit of a chatty Cathy in the gym, which is weird. Like I don't typically talk to people because I don't really know anybody, but I know enough anybody's now where I can easily get interrupted for 5 or maybe even 10 minutes, which really throws me off my game. So I need to kind of refocus myself on making sure like interactions are kept to a minimum. Not that I want to be antisocial, but a quick, hey, how you doing? 30 seconds, 45 seconds, boom, back to it. Like I want to keep it about the length of a rest period. So, which, will make me seem like an antisocial prick to a lot of people, but, I can be nice about it at the same time. There's always going to be that guy who's like, okay, you need to go away. You're interrupting my set here. It's like, that's not me. I'm not that intense. I like to be precise. I like to bring my best. I'm just not what most people would consider to be a terribly intense individual. Like what you see here on YouTube, like this is me. I'm pretty chill. I don't get too upset about a whole lot. I don't get super overly hyped about stuff. I don't know if I've ever uttered the words "let's fucking go" in my whole life, just because I'm like, already doing it. Go what? Do what from here? Like I'm already doing all the stuff I need to do, and I have been for a long time. So it's just I don't. I could do many YouTube videos on the toxicity of gym culture at large, but I'm going to save that. So a lot of it's just personal preference. Like it's personalities, and it takes it's different types for everything. That's fine. That's fine. So. The trends in weight look good, and actually, so that tracker was good up through yesterday, and then today's weigh-in was another drop from there down to like 240 and change something. So that'll probably come back up. Yesterday was a low carb day, so a little lower food volume. Interesting stuff that happened this week. Thursday I was just tanked. I think Thursday was a rest day for me. Yeah. It was a lower carb day. That wasn't really what it was. I had no energy. I took 3 naps on Thursday. Thank God I was able to. But just like couldn't recover from it. That third nap was still like 45 minutes long. Like I don't know where that came from. It was a one-off. I've been feeling fine since. Saturday we took a trip. My wife and we went to Crossville, which is an hour west of Knoxville. She found something on Facebook Marketplace that she wanted to pick up. It was going to be an art decor piece, and ended up not getting it. We went, and it was like the person who had it for sale said, "Oh, it'll hang on a wall." It weighed 500 pounds. It was not going to hang on a wall. So we did not end up getting that. So we took the trip out there, and she wanted to hit up a couple thrift stores to find some stuff for art projects. And while we were there, we hit up a place for some food. So I knew, okay, it's an hour there, it's an hour back. We'll probably be there for, I was thinking 30 minutes. We ended up spending an hour and a half maybe there. But I did a meal swap that day where I took my third and fourth meals, my fourth meal being a shake, my third meal being something larger. It's a sandwich with some pita crackers. So I just swapped those. I'm like, I'll just take the shake with me, have that on the road, have the larger meal when I get back, understanding at that point I'm backloading calories. So you're taking your caloric content and you're all the same meals, but you're just shifting more calories towards later in the day. So it might, and also more food volume as well. So there might be an impact in the scale when you do that. There wasn't for me. I actually dropped weight the next day, but I was kind of prepared for that. So we went out to a spot for lunch, and I was looking at the menu there and thinking like, okay, can I make a macro sub here? And the answer was, yeah, I could, but I didn't because I was lazy and I just didn't want to do the math. And so my wife's there. She's got the menu. She's like, do you know what you're getting? I'm like, uh-huh. Yep. So I let her order. And then they asked me, and I'm like, I'll have a Diet Coke, thank you. Because usually, like, I don't, she will often feel like she's in a position where if I'm not eating something, then she shouldn't either, just because she doesn't want to be the reason why we have to stop and do all. And so I'm like, no, like, I'd love to just sit down and, you can eat just because I'm not. Like, that's totally fine. And I was 100% fine with it. Not a big deal. I enjoyed my Diet Coke as much as one can. It's not my favorite, but But it was something, you know, a little carbonation always fills the stomach. So a carbonated beverage is always a good trick if you feel like your appetite's climbing up a little bit. So that was, and we came back, and then 10 minutes from home, I got car sick. Not to the point where I actually threw up, but we both get tragically car sick at the drop of a hat as passengers in a car. So I made the fatal mistake of looking out the side window as we were turning a corner, and that was it. And I was like, oh God, here we go. The nausea kicks in. And so you get home, and you all you can really do is like lay there in the car like this, like window down, like trying to get some fresh air, just trying not to throw up. Tongue hanging out of your mouth, just making that car sick face. Like that's the reality for both of us more often than not. We do have something that we take for that. It's called Bonine, not Dramamine. Dramamine is bullshit. It doesn't work. Trust me. Bonine, however, Bonine, for those who get car sick out there, is a wonder drug. I didn't know I was going to be a passenger on the way back, so I didn't take any, but I was kind of tired, so I let her drive, and car sickness hit me. So then I had to just lay down when we get back, so I lost an hour that way. That was it. I mean, as far as the week, everything else was great. Like, training was good, cardio was fine, diet 100% on point, aside from that meal swap, which is just 3 and 4. Qualitative, how I'm feeling. So sleep has been rock solid, really good. Appetite has actually been quite stable. I wake up hungry, and I delay my first meal for quite a bit. Like I wake up, do cardio, do work, and then eat. So appetite, however, has been outside of that waking up hungry thing. It's been very controlled and very easy to manage. Not a problem at all. Training has been good, aside from like, you know, getting a little distracted talking to people, which I need to cut back on that. Fatigue has been fine outside of Thursday, which is just a one-off. Okay, more meal prep tips. This time it's rice. So first of all, you have to make sure you look kind of homeless when you're doing this. Second is I'm boiling 3 cups of water. Really hard stuff here. I'm taking 2 cups of jasmine rice. I dump it in. I give it a quick stir. I turn it down to low, and I walk away because I'm done. Tough stuff. I'm looking, so you know, here's the video from this week. I don't know. I mean, as I say every week, I'm still fat. Still, but I feel like one thing that I would notice this week is I had an easier time sucking in the gut for the photos. I didn't feel like I was absolutely killing myself, like trying to suck it in. So that felt a little bit more doable. And I saw some stuff like, you know, training legs today. Like there was a little vascularity in the quads that was coming out just a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, that's a sign. That's something. And you look for those things. They're not always what you want to see. Like what I really want to see is like, let's get this midsection tightened up. Let's get this love handle squared away. But the thing is, like, those are the areas that you fixate on, and what you fixate on, I mean, you fixate on that area because it's a problem spot. That's why you fixate on it, and that's why you're so desperate to see that area change, which means it's probably going to be the last thing to change. So you can't judge your progress based on your problem areas necessarily. So, because otherwise it'd be like, God, I'm dropping all this weight, my love handles aren't going away, but be like, dude, everywhere else you look like a freak. I mean, nobody tells me that, but someday maybe they will. I can hope, I can dream, right? So don't focus on be aware of your problem areas, but don't necessarily use those to judge your progress. Just because they are your problem areas, they will be the slowest to respond. You got to look elsewhere, look at everything. So that's why we take the photos, take the videos, and look at that. So I mean, I don't know, I guess I look like I'm about 18 weeks out. You know, I keep thinking also that I've got a head start on this prep. Like a lot of people doing this show won't start prep for another 2 weeks still. Now they're probably not as fat as me also. So it all kind of evens out a little bit. I do know some people, however. There's one guy doing junior nats in town, and he's a seasoned competitor. He's quite lean already. He has already started prep for that, and he's 2 weeks further out than I am. Like, I don't know why he started prep early. I don't know what his rationale is, but I know he's in prep, and it's like, okay. Like, I'm thinking you need a 10-week prep, not a 20-week prep, but What do I know? And there's another guy who's doing the Knox Classic, which is a full 2 months after my show, who has already started prep, and he also is already quite lean. So I think he's getting some bad advice from people, because there's no reason he should be doing anything right now other than just trying to grow more. So, but you know, as the saying goes, not my circus, not my monkeys. So they're not my clients, not my people to worry about. So I'm gonna make them not my problem. Good luck to them all. I don't know what you're doing, but good luck. Next steps. What's up for the week ahead? No changes as far as I'm concerned. Now, I did plug in those extra formulas and those columns on my tracker, so I also pre-populated some of that so I can see what my average weight is, because I always check that on Sunday. Now I can see, like today, my average weight for next Sunday is today's weight, because it's the only data point for the week. But I can see how that's tracking, and so what I want to do is kind of micromanage it a little bit. So as that average, if I get a few data points in there, like by the time Thursday rolls around, if I get a few data points and it's not looking good, I might not hesitate to jump on a small change. So I'm not super convinced that I'm going to do that, but it's something that I'm considering here. It really just depends on how everything looks and how I'm feeling. I know at this point, like, I can handle big macro drops from here. I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling well fed. I'm training well. I would just like to keep it that way for as long as possible. And so it's kind of like rolling the dice here a little bit. Like, okay, can I still continue to lean out at an appropriate rate while keeping my macros up? And part of it is like, keep your output level and your activity level high. You know, train hard. Don't let your step count slack. You don't need to overdo it on cardio, but just remain active. And you know, just think about, you know, every hour of every day, are you doing something that's going to help create a good check-in come the weekend for me, check-in with myself and with all of you. That's what I'm keeping in mind here. And so far, like, this prep is... So far, this prep has been super easy. I mean, we're only a few weeks in. I've done one macro cut. My carbs are still high. My fats are still high. So it's nothing to worry about. It will get there eventually. My goal is to see, like, how long I can delay the suffering aspect of this. Like, with every prep, there's going to be a little bit of suffering that has to happen, but I'm hoping that I can delay that for long enough that it will be an appropriate amount of suffering and not like, oh, these last 14 weeks have been, I felt like a POW these last 14 weeks. I want to avoid that. So that's what I'm looking for ahead for the next week. That's it. So it's been a pretty easy peasy, quiet kind of week with some good progress, good results. Nothing fancy on my end, just solid, consistent work and just checking all the boxes every single day and leaving no stone unturned. That's what prep is all about realistically, and then getting creative only when you have to. So that's what I have. So join me back here next week for the 17-week out update. With any luck, I will do a little bit better in cataloging some video and some other tidbits and stuff for you for that report next week. But in the meantime, once again, subscribe if you aren't already. Like the video, leave a comment. Send me an email if you have to, but if you're going to send me an email, you have to leave a comment here as well. That's the rule that I have in place now. But again, thanks for watching, and everybody train hard, stay safe out there.